All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're tracing the incredible chronological journey of the 25 prophets mentioned in the Quran. We're going to explore their shared missions, their mind-blowing miracles, and the timeless lessons they offer for our lives right now. Whether you're super familiar with these histories or you're hearing them for the very first time, there's this profound narrative woven through all these figures that completely reshapes how we understand perseverance, faith, and the human struggle.
To uncover the golden thread connecting all these amazing individuals, we'll break things down into 5 key areas: the chain of prophets, shared missions and miracles, enduring trials and patience, lessons for modern life, and finally, the unity of faith.
Starting right off with part 1, the chain of prophets. Let's establish exactly who we are talking about in this continuous chain of divine guidance and what their titles actually mean.
So first up, we've got to understand the distinction between a prophet, or nabi, and a messenger, or rasul. You see, while every messenger is also a prophet, they were all uniquely chosen by their creator to deliver the exact same core message of faith, monotheism, and obedience. They weren't just community leaders, they were specifically tasked with steering humanity back to a singular spiritual truth.
When you map it all out, you get this vast, unbroken timeline across human history. We have 6 major transitional figures here, who really represent the overarching journey of prophethood. We literally start at the very beginning with Adam, move through the Great Flood with Nuh, see the firm establishment of monotheism with Ibrahim, the epic Exodus with Musa, the miraculous life of Isa, and finally, the culmination of the whole message with Muhammad in the 7th century CE. It's basically a single baton being passed across millennia.
Now, even though authentic Islamic sources tell us that thousands of guides were sent to humanity across different times and nations, the Quran explicitly names exactly 25 of them. This specific group, which includes early historical figures like Idris, Hud, Salih, and Lut, serves a highly specific educational purpose in the text.
Moving on to section 2, shared missions and miracles. Let's look at how this unbroken chain actually functions on the ground, and the awe-inspiring miracles granted to them.
If you really analyze their life stories, a super distinct, recurring pattern pops up every single time. First comes the call to monotheism. But almost immediately, this triggers the challenge, which is this intense, often violent societal rejection and direct attacks on their authority. And then finally comes the resolution, where they're supported by profound divine intervention that absolutely proves their legitimacy.
And what is absolutely fascinating about these miracles is that they weren't just random magic tricks. No way. They were specifically tailored by Allah to challenge the dominant powers of their exact eras. I mean, think about it. When sorcery was the ultimate power, Musa was given a staff that literally defied physics by parting the sea. Isa's healing challenged the medical prowess of his time. Sulayman's dominion extended way beyond humanity, into the animal kingdom, and Ibrahim famously survived a blazing fire totally unscathed, completely subverting the physical laws his oppressors relied on.
Which brings us to section 3, enduring trials and patience. Because, the path of prophethood isn't just about spectacular, physics-defying miracles. It is heavily defined by enduring unimaginable hardship.
The sheer diversity of what they went through is staggering. Nuh faced an astonishing 950 years of relentless societal rejection. Just imagine preaching for nearly a millennium to a crowd that refuses to listen. Then you have Yusuf, betrayed by his own brothers and thrown into a dark prison unjustly. Ayyub lost absolutely everything: his health, his wealth, his family, for a prolonged period of time. Yunus faced the terrifying, complete isolation of being swallowed by a whale in the pitch-black depths of the ocean. Immense, agonizing patience was universally required.
It really all boils down to this absolute essence. Patience and steadfastness are the true hallmarks of a prophet's journey through adversity. Because at the end of the day, these individuals were human. They felt pain, they felt isolation, they felt sorrow. But the true hallmark of their journey wasn't the absence of hardship. It was choosing unshakable reliance on faith when it would have been so much easier to simply give up. They modeled steadfastness even in the absolute darkest of times.
All right, section 4, lessons for modern life. This is where we answer the biggest question for anyone watching. How does this ancient history actually apply to us right now, today?
Well, we can pull direct blueprints for modern resilience straight from these stories. Dealing with crushing grief, look at Yaqub, who held on to unwavering hope even when he thought he had lost his beloved son forever. Or Yusuf, who teaches us some next-level emotional intelligence, choosing supreme forgiveness over vengeance when he finally had total power over the very brothers who wronged him. Ayyub teaches us how to actually practice gratitude while we are actively suffering. And Dawud shows us how to balance huge worldly success with deep, humble devotion.
So the big takeaway here is that these stories are absolutely not just dry historical records or ancient myths. They're living, breathing guides. Whether you're dealing with a health crisis, a bitter family betrayal, or a massive crisis of faith, the emotional and spiritual frameworks used by the prophets are incredibly relevant tools for our own survival today.
And finally, Section 5, the unity of faith. Let's see how all 25 of these distinct narratives weave seamlessly together into one unified, singular message.
Because this is the ultimate takeaway, right? Despite thousands upon thousands of years passing between Adam, the very first man, and Muhammad, the final messenger, despite the rise and fall of entirely different civilizations, languages, and cultures, the core instruction of pure monotheism didn't change a single bit. It is the exact same message, just renewed and delivered for different eras.
Along with the heavy hitters we've already explored today, figures like Ismail, Ishaq, Zakariyya, and Yahya complete this sacred roster of the 25 prophets specifically named in the Quran. Each one of them played a highly vital role in maintaining this unbroken chain, forever cementing the profound unity of their brotherhood and their shared singular purpose.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with